Hey everybody, guess what time it is? It's that time for Meet a Scientist Monday, the time when we spend some time thinking about people that are doing real science around the world, not just old dead white guys from a long time ago. And today, our scientist that we are focusing on is Tyrone Hayes. So Tyrone Hayes, as you can see, is an evolutionary biologist. So he's actually a professor at the University of California, Berkeley. And what he's focusing on in terms of being an evolutionary biologist, this means that he's kind of seeing how frog populations, specifically that's what he's focusing on, is changing because of common pesticides such as atrazine, which are being found where they're living. So when we say evolutionary, what we're thinking about is how things change over time. So in specifically because he's biologist, that focuses on living things. So his work is focusing on frog populations, maybe near where they're living or real anywhere. So atrazine seems to be a common pesticide that is really hurting frog populations. So he's trying to see what's working, what frogs are surviving that pesticide, which ones are not making it, how is the population changing to try to evolve past that pesticide, those kinds of things. So a very specific job, but Tyrone Hayes working at the University of Berkeley as a professor. If something like that would interest you, probably you're going to have to get a PhD, so that's beyond a bachelor's degree, which is your usual four-year degree, beyond a master's degree, PhD probably to teach at a professor. Now, some schools, it depends on the school. If you have done lots of important research, a master's degree might be enough to get you into that position. But you're probably going to have to get a biology PhD or a master's with lots of research experience. And then depending on what school you work at, it's a pretty huge range in terms of what a professor is going to make. 70, almost to like double that. Average schools, like professional schools, around 120,000. Trade schools. Professional schools are going to be like your universities, like U of M or Bethel or Northwestern, like those, Concordia, like those kinds of things. Trade schools, maybe around 71,000. Those are going to be different schools around the country that maybe not the ones that have more of that professional background. So the idea here is that because it is such a specific degree, your range of pay can get pretty high because you need to have had a lot of training or a lot of experience to get that job. So a professor, a pretty specific science-related job, probably one you've heard of before, but I think this one's cool because how it relates to his research related to evolutionary biology stuff, which is pretty interesting. So Tyrone Hayes, thanks for listening.